I've changed the exhaust again. I've put on a little short number. I'm going to cut in here. It's a Stubby exhaust, and yeah, sounds great. What I did with the Scorpion, as you might know, is sleeve the inside of it. So the silencer was bypassed, but still kind of a little bit tinny. This has got a lot more bass to it. I get bored so quickly, it's ridiculous. I'm just constantly searching. I've got this stupid disease where I'm constantly searching on Bike Trader and eBay for another motorbike, and I get these things in my head. Ooh, I really want this. Much better than what I've got. I mean, this bike has got, I think it's got about 46,000 miles on it. So, quite a lot really. I'm just concerned that it's not going to last, but it's fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with it. The engine sound, everything, there's nothing wrong with it at all. It's fully serviced, there's no problems with it. But I just really want a new bike, as in brand new. I never had one before. And as you probably know, I really fancy this MT-09. I'm gonna hang about until the ABS version comes out. And personally, in London, I think it's a good idea. The road surface changes in a very short space of time, and there's plenty of diesel on the streets from trucks and taxis. Now, I know, you know, it might not stop you in time if it's a very slippery surface, but I'm not saying I could do a better job if it didn't have ABS and it didn't kick in. I'm not sure if I could feather the brakes in the correct manner to do that. So to my mind, ABS is probably better than me. The bikes that I've been looking at are all quite high capacity compared to this. This is a 650. I don't really know why. I mean, 90% of the time I'm riding around London. It's not often I get out of London, and if I do, to be honest, it's normally on the drifter for bike rallies and things. A bit of rock and roll. I don't know. I mean, I had a hankering for an FZ1, and I quite like the full fairing ones. You can get an additional fairing. I think it's about 400 quid. But you know, it looks fairly comfortable. It's got flat bars instead of clip-ons, and full fairing, keep you out of the wind. It's just a bigger version of exactly what I've got, and I'm just trying to think, you know, why do I really need more power? I don't think I do. Not around town. I mean, 0 to 30 is 0 to 30. It doesn't really matter what you're on. Go on then. Go on, dickhead. But I really also fancy a Buell XB12S. It's absolutely fucking gorgeous. It has, you know, it's got a tractor motor in the middle. I think it's pretty cool, actually. I think it'd be good fun. Good fun to ride. But it's tiny. And now I've got my eBay saved search for UK VTR 1000, Honda VTR 1000s and Suzuki TL 1000S. Both of which are monsters, and I would do a like a rental handlebar conversion. I've seen a few of them for sale with them. They just look like they're going to be a riot. I mean, if I wasn't too concerned about comfort and seat height, I'd love a Supermoto, but it wouldn't work for me. And the reason it wouldn't work for me purely is because, I mean, the seat height's not too much of a problem. My legs aren't particularly short. I'm 6 foot, but I can only put one foot down because of a left leg injury. So I can only put my right foot down when I stop, and also I need to extend the kickstand the side stand with my hand. See, I have to get down. And I think it would be a long reach for a bike like that, especially without lifting my right foot off the ground and then slipping over and dropping the whole thing on the floor. I think the problem is that, you know, this is not a bike I ever wanted. It just happened to be there when I wanted to trade mine in, the Aprilia. And this was the best of the bunch. It's just a bit beige. You can tell it's a bit, because it's, when they're advertised, it's always the kind of advert which is like, get this as your first big bike. So, it's not actually the kind of bike I want to ride, my first big bike. Look at me, Daddy, I have a big motorcycle. I'd like to point out it's pissing down with rain. It's pissing down with rain, but I'm perfectly warm and dry. Got my muffs on, handlebar warmers, heated grips rather. The other thing I added to my bike was some Bike Viz bullets. I'll put some pictures up. See how fucking slippery it is? That was second gear and it spun up at, what, 3,000 RPM. I hate that red tarmac in Hyde Park. I had a 4x4, had a Suzuki V-Cross, and that thing would spin up, four-wheel drive. It was only about 180 horsepower. We've got a 4x4, you put your foot down a little bit in Hyde Park and all four tyres would light up. It's so slippery. There's been police on this junction for about 4 weeks now. Big news actually is I managed to get a computer finally at home. So I'm the proud owner of an iMac, which has taken a long time to achieve. But it's just amazing. I mean, for me, you can't get anything better. I've got an iMac, I've got a copy of Final Cut Pro 10. And, you know, it's on. I can start editing stuff. Last night I was sat editing a load of stuff from my Isle of Man TT trip earlier this year. So I expect that to come out soon. And that's about all that's been happening. And here I am on the slippery tarmac in Hyde Park again. Couldn't be asked to go the other way through Notting Hill. So the only other thing I've been up to at the moment was, as I said, I was trying to find another bike with a bit more oomph. So I thought, well, why not give this one a little bit more oomph, the one I've got? So for £9 I can get a front sprocket which is -1 tooth. Roughly equates to about 2.7 extra on the rear, which should be a healthy torque increase. Obviously it reduces the top speed, but who cares? Yeah, so I went to do that on the weekend, and it was a complete nightmare. I could not get the front sprocket nut undone. I had a 3-foot extension bar, I had my wife standing on the rear foot peg. I even then took it off the centre stand, put it down on the ground, and put the front end up against the wall, and the rear wheel was still spinning. So I need to borrow a impact driver from someone, so I can do that this week and then have another go next weekend. Hopefully the impact driver should sort it out. So I'll be interested to see how well, it should be a bit quicker, the bike, acceleration wise, with a -1 tooth front sprocket, so that'll be fun. Other than that, ride safe all.